All right, so Carlos is kind enough to let me cook. We have a bunch of
Yuck,
stuff
yuck,
roasting
yuck,
food.
yuck, yuck.
So it's worth noting that the that one durian and then a single like apple or mushroom gives you full heal plus 4 fake hearts, which is really fucking good, especially since you can get like 20 at a time. I did mix them all, so I got a plus 20 if we ever need this for like a boss fight. You never know. You never
You
know.
never know.
But I sold most of them, so we have a good amount of rupees. But also, it's a blood moon, so it's just that time. We're gonna go back here and try and buy the other equipment. Do you viewers want to know what Carlos said before the recording started? He said he appreciates you. Yeah, he did. He definitely didn't say fuck the viewers. That's not. Forget the lies and slander that you may hear. He didn't say that.
I would never say that.
It's honestly offensive that you would even insinuate that. To be honest, it just feels
the
weird.
viewers know who I am.
Yeah, he would never. That's calling into your character into question, which, frankly, Carlos, I won't stand for.
When have I ever attacked other people, or been shocked at my own gusto for attacking others?
Yeah, exactly. All right, we've seen it. Come on. You remember that time a blood moon happened and the Lionel respawned, and I forgot that was a thing. Like, it just completely like whiffed me. I was like, oh wait a minute, what? No. And you were like, I was wondering why you were standing there, like, which I thought was funny. Oh, Carlos is gone. Cool.
Sorry, I was shoving something in my mouth hole, and I realized you were coming to the end of your story.
Why did you say it that way though?
Whoa, what do you mean?
Shoving something into my mouth hole?
Is that not what you would say?
No. I would say slurping something into my gullet. So can you please use the correct terms next time? Thank you. I don't know why the helmet is $2,000. That seems excessive. I like how the fire protection is just like nothing about this helmet should be a fire protection. It looks like a fucking football helmet.
It also looks like it's gonna melt on your head.
Alright, we're losing our strength boost, but that's okay because now we've got drip. As the kids say. Hey, can I ask you a personal question that I'm going to air on recording? Because I think it's, why not, right?
Not that personal.
What could go wrong?
Apparently.
Do you feel like it's weird when I text you and say dog?
No.
Okay. Because there are
Text Amy.
There are certain words in the English lexicon that I, as a straight white man, can't use. And sometimes I gotta find replacement words to keep up with some of my friends who can use those words. And I'm not always sure that the replacement words are better. So I have to be careful.
I mean, dog is fine, at this point.
Well, it's also your fault. Because you're the one who says it all the fucking time, so it's like that's the reason it's even in my vernacular right now. I love that you have an enemy who like sucks things up like that, and you can absolutely just lob bombs at them and they swallow them. It's just like, I love like the enemy design in this, because it's like, I imagine there are some enemies that people probably struggle on that like other people never once struggled on, because you're just like, oh, just do this. And I love the dichotomy of that. I love like, it's like there's someone just gonna have like mental blind spots about them. We're like, oh, I didn't know you could do that.
I've been on the Metroid subreddit, and someone was complaining about an enemy that I was just like, dog, that's the shit that's got you stuck? Put the controller down. You ain't built for this. You gotta go home. You gotta go do something.
I think you have to be an accountant now. I think legally that's what you have to do. You're not allowed to play video games anymore.
I'm gonna come to your home and personally confiscate it.
Speaking of, Metroid Prime was on your, I think you skipped over. It was on your top 20 list.
I get it.
And I think it was Metroid Prime 2 or something, but you said it took you
No,
7
Metroid
years.
Prime 1.
It said it took you 7 years to beat it, which, when you calculate how old you are when you wrote that list, means that you were playing since you were 10.
Well, it's a little bit of like, I would play a little bit and then play something else.
Sure.
Because in hindsight, like, a lot of the challenge of that game is the controls are a little wonky, and save room to save room, you got to make it. And as a child with a father who does not respect my free time, it was just like, oh yeah, all that progress is gone. Someone turned off the power, all that shit is gone. Now I gotta.
I love that Carlos doesn't have a memory card chronicles. Like,
There's a lot of games that are like, oh yeah,
like in my head it was just like a couple months for you, but it must have been years. The amount of games that you fucking talk about this with, like.
Well as another thing that used to happen is because every weekend I was at like a family member's house.
Sure.
I'd play a lot of games at my family, like at my cousin's house, and just be like, all right, well, we about to try to run through this in one night. Taking shifts. Someone would nap during gameplay because it's like, all right, you gotta sleep because we're gonna start back up at 5 a.m.
That's so funny, but it sounds like a really good bonding experience.
Yeah, it's great. It's also like there was a combined experience of being agitated of like when someone would get called out and it'd be like, yo, but he's the only one who can do this part of the game. He's the one who figured out how to do the jump mechanic right.
So like, yeah, he sucks, but we need him. I have two experiences like that, I think. One, I used to go over my siblings. Mark, he has a sorry to air my own dirty laundry, I guess, or my family dirty laundry. My brother is technically a half brother, by biologically a half brother, but mentally and spiritually, very much a full brother. So he's a different father than I do, because his stayed around and mine left, and so we would go for a while after. Because, you know, he's younger than me. So after, when I was younger, my mother got together with his father. And we would go over his house sometimes and stuff like that for, like, weekends. Kind of similar to how you did with your family. And obviously I couldn't bring my things. So, like, they had a PlayStation there, but they had a bunch of games I didn't have. And, like, it was a different memory card and stuff like, you know what I mean? Where it's like,
oh, yeah.
It wasn't an ideal situation.
Wearing someone else's shoes.
Yeah, but so they had Final Fantasy VII, which was like very different from the rest of their games, which were like fucking cool borders and jam packed. So like my option, it was definitely a good option, but I knew that it was a long game, and I was like, I only visit here every so often, so like I was like, I gotta be like, it's gotta be like a big like time when we're visiting for me to like play it, and I did that so often that I put it off for like 2 years, and then just never played it, and then. You know, some things happened and we no longer went over there anymore, and they broke up. That's all. I don't know why it made it sound worse. But we did that, and but like after that I lost. I didn't get the chance to play it at all because I didn't have the game anymore. So then when I grew up, like the first Final Fantasy I played was 10 because had waited so fucking long. And like then trying to go back to 7 after 10 was like impossible because 7 has an active like kind of like it's a turn-based RPG, but there's a timer on each like turn, and 10 doesn't. 10 is just like, yeah, take your turn, whatever, I don't care, whatever. So it was very difficult to go back, and that's why I never played Final Fantasy 7, even though like I was the perfect age for it, because I just kept being like, well, now's not the right time. Like, so it's just very interesting how that kind of stuff happens. Another example is a little later in life. Ironically, different man my mother was seeing, a man who would become my stepfather, and then not become my stepfather anymore. I have a complicated history. And then so we were over his father's house, my grandfather his house, for like the day while they went out to do something. Like they went on like a trip or something, and so we were staying over there. And I brought my GameCube and hooked it up, and I brought Luigi's Mansion, and I was like, I've never beaten this game, and I want to try it. And so I was just playing the game and stuff like that because I was just like, I got nothing else to do. And then after like 4 hours, I beat the game, and I was like, oh, I had no idea this game was so short. Like, what? I was so confused. I was like, wait a minute. I was so close to beating this all this time. I never knew this was like the last level, or this was like the last section, and it was very surprising. And I was like, my own like memory card troubles are actually what pushed me, because I was like, I need to play faster because I only have a limited time to beat this. And yeah, that's the first time I beat Luigi's Mansion. Thank you for listening patiently to my story, Carlos.
See, growing up, I do. I also have stories of like, oh, it's not the right time to play this. And I remember, forget which. It was a Christmas. I got gifted. My dad got me like Fallout 3,
Ooh.
and I was like, it's not the right time. Oh, it was like Fallout 3, Assassin's Creed Brotherhood, and like another big game. But I remember, like I played Brotherhood for most of that winter break, and then I had begun Fallout, but I was like, it's not the right time. So I sat on Fallout with like, this is a summer vacation game.
Sure.
And yeah, that was.
And
I've never gone back.
You never went back to it. Yeah, I was gonna say I knew where this is going because I know you haven't played Fallout, so I knew where it was going.
No, I finally did play it that summer vacation. It was like the only game I played, but I remember being like, yeah, this is the only way I can experience this game, and I will never. I think it was like my junior year summer or my senior year summer. And I was like, I will never have a summer like this to be like, yeah, let me just play all these hours of an RPG. Granted, I've since then obviously played like a bunch of other games.
Well, and also not for nothing, me during that same summer, where most of our time was hanging out with each other and our other friends.
Yeah.
I did find time to play more long RPGs, so I think that was bullshit. I did that and hung out with my friends.
And had a job.
I had a job too. I remember more often than not, you were the one whose schedule was the reason we couldn't play stuff because you were very busy at Dunkin' Donuts.
And the nursing home. Remember, I worked at the nursing home.
Yes, I do
as well.
remember that now. That's how. That's some of the reasons why I hung out with our good friend Pat on my own because.
Oh yeah.
We were like, well, we're both friends with Carlos, so we must have something in common. And I don't mean to frame it that way. Well, I like Pat. I don't know that I'll ever hang out with Pat alone again. And it's not because of anything against him. I don't know that we're like, we're really the people to do that with. But I could be wrong. Pat's changed a lot. I really enjoyed the last time we had lunch together. It was a good time. Pat laughs at my jokes, so it's great. Pat thinks I'm very funny, I think. So I don't know. Does he? Carlos, does he? Does he?
I mean, Pat's so great. What? Something I've been thinking about.
Actually, really quick, Carlos, do you think I'm funny?
Yeah. To a point.
So
Let's not get too crazy. To a point. I can't let you. I complimented you way too much in the series. People are gonna actually think I like you. I don't need that.
Do you are you okay?
Oh, that is.
Are you okay with people realizing that you're a tsundere? Is that fine?
I'm a what?
Do you not know what that means?
No.
It's that stereotypical thing in anime where they have a character who's like, whatever. It's not like I like you or anything, idiot. Let's just go.
Oh.
It's
that is a little bit.
I don't know if there's an English term for it. There must be, right?
Probably. A complainer.
I guess. A fucking bitch. No. I like how you got lost and started watching the cutscene.
Yeah, I was just like, what? I was like, you got a little handsy, my dude.
Yeah. I think he is one of the cooler of like the four like kind of guardians. Mm-hmm. He's like, yeah, man, let's do it.
It's also cool in Majora's Mask when you can put on the Goron mask and like roll around.
Oh, that's one of the ones that or one of the not that mask. One of the NFC things is this is cool as hell. One of the NFC things lets you get the Fierce Deity outfit.
All right. So what was I saying?
Which I feel like you would appreciate as a Majora's Mask player.
That was a
Yes.
strange.
Sorry, I just got an email from someone who's annoying me.
But I'm playing. I haven't emailed you.
This is just a recruiter that every time like I get into the next stage of the interview process, he wants to like, hey, let's schedule a call for prep. And I'm like, dog, I've done an interview before. I've had jobs. You've seen my resume. There were jobs.
Listen, this probably helps other people. Like, you got to see where he's coming from.
Oh no, I get that, but I also feel like
hold on, that stupid fucking face just popped back in, and I was not ready for it. I forgot I had the helmet on and the fucking zoom in.
I mean, it kind of honestly,
it doesn't work.
The
No, it
mask
doesn't.
kind of worked.
No, it didn't. There's just no facial expression. I'd rather have the spear tracks mask than this. Like, oh my god. Beautiful. There is a group of miners, like people who like mine ore, not like children. There is a group of miners here somewhere. I said it so you wouldn't. Like that
I would
was
never.
that was a joke to prepare myself.
Can I break some news on the air?
Yes.
E3 2023 has been canceled.
Oh, whoa! That is a live reaction. Also, that's really gonna date this video that comes out in mid-April or late April. But yeah, that's huge. What was it? Just like 2 days ago that Ubisoft was like, "Nah, we're good."
It's crazy to me because like you saw people pulling out, but I'm like, I get it.
Yeah, it's a very weird situation where it's like a lot of people are like, if they don't have E3, then what? I'm like, dude, it's not 2003 anymore. Like,
Yeah, E3.
things have changed. Like I know that you probably would like E3, and that's fine. I get that. I'm not going to shame anyone for wanting E3, but like you have to understand why it's not happening, right? Like,
Yeah. E3 had a time and its place, and the more annoying aspect to me, or like the only part that I'm sad about, is we won't get the big chunky crazy press conference in a theater, which like maybe right now, maybe
yes, we will. It'll just be centered on each fucking first party thing. Like Sony will do one, Nintendo will do. No, Nintendo will probably keep doing the directs.
Yeah, I feel like for everyone involved, it's probably going to be continue with those videos, only because it's like it's cheaper to produce. You still get the big fanfare on social media and stuff, and it's like logistically you don't have to coordinate like, oh, make sure that the Fluke guy's here on time, you know?
Yeah, like people are acting like it's some big surprise. Where I'm like, no, I mean E3 led to the other presentations. They're basically like people just being like, oh, you can do this. All right, let's just do it this way then.
It's just a little sad. I rewatched the other day. I watched the Twilight Princess announcement, and it's just like crazy to see. Like, one, you get to see Shigeru Miyamoto come out with like the sword and the shield, and then just like hearing people like, "Oh my fucking god, they're making another Zelda!" Like, of course they're making another Zelda. What the fuck do you think they're doing here?
Wait, he came out with a sword and a shield? Did his attack points and his defense points reverse?
I hate you. It's also like where the Microsoft guy got the GTA 4 tattoos and the Halo tattoo.
I do agree that, but I also, not for nothing, I feel like that's kind of like a 90s, like early 2000s relic anyway.
Oh yeah.
Of like that was just a bigger part of the culture back then.
Something I also I like someone brought up to my attention about like this push to go back to in-office thing is this like, well, everyone's saying all these positive things, but like, what about like the negative aspects? Have those gone down? Like sexual harassment in the workplace, has that gone down with everyone being remote now, or is that still like,
or is that somehow persisting? Like,
yeah, like that's something that I legitimately is interesting in terms of like, hey, if employees are more safe at home than they are going to the office, but whatever.
My big thing with the return to work thing is that it always feels like all of like. It feels like it's a pretty transparent thing.
Yeah.
Of like, oh, you mean these giant offices that you've spent millions of dollars a year on are suddenly worthless? Yeah, crazy that you want people to go back in the office. I can't imagine why. But it's just it's the fact that they don't admit that.
Yeah.
That they're just like, no, we just think that, you know, the culture and this and that. I'm like, you don't know. Like, no. My boss is a big advocate of returning to work because he's like, you know, we had a lot of really good like bonding material. Like he genuinely like will cite all the times that we had fun in the office together. I'm like, yeah, and I think that was a good time. But I also think that like during the work day, like, you know, things were different.
I don't need work to be fun.
Well, it's not only that; it's also like
it's nice.
He sometimes cites where it's like, you know, we did better work when we were in office, and I was like, I think that was just the people. We've had like half our staff turnover. Like, I think that was just it was just sort of like you're not really seeing it correctly kind of deal. I don't know what this shrine is supposed. Oh, okay. For a second, I was like, is it this easy? Like. Oh, I think I see. I think, will this work? Sure will. There we go.
So we were talking
All right,
about,
and that shrine's done. That's the kind of puzzle I like. One where I can see it right away, and I'm like, yep, got it. What were we talking about?
Last video we spoke about a top 20 games list
We
that
did.
I come up with.
We did. You're from 2013 or no, 2010 is where that list came from.
Yes.
A distant time.
I quickly jotted down 5 games that I think would make my top 20.
Sure.
I don't think there's any surprises for you.
For me, probably not. But for the viewers, let's
Who
get
knows?
a drum roll.
All right, Nier Automata is up there.
Ooh. Ooh. I would
think
not
that-
have
I think-
expected that. I don't know that would have cracked your top 20. I know you
Yeah,
enjoyed it.
I think about that game a lot.
Here, I was just thinking about this literally like yesterday. The hardest part of Nier Automata is convincing people to play it, because
Oh, yeah.
any of the things that I would explain on why it's so fucking good would ruin the experience for them. Like, there's only so much you can give away, and it's like I feel like the memeing of that game is like, oh, it's just a big ass like white woman. It's like, yeah, that's why you get your, that's why I got in the doorway, but that's not why I went through. Like, if there's anyone who's ever, if you're even like a little bit curious about Nier Automata, you should try the demo. That's genuinely, I wasn't sure about the game at all. I tried the demo this would have been back when I was in college. I tried the demo, and then right away I was like, this is the game that I've been looking for since Okami. This is like the action kind of style game and like stylistic stuff that I've been looking for since Okami, and I've not been able to find. I finally found it, and it was a joy. Truly a joy. It's just so good. And again, you can't get into why it's so good without spoiling.
It's also like the worst part of it to me is people ask me like, "Oh, Carlos, like what?" Like my friend who was like, "Oh, Carlos, like I want to get into games. Like, what are the games that I should play?" And I'm like, Nier Automata is like one of my favorite games that came in the last 10 or so years or whatever.
So,
and I'm like, I wouldn't recommend you to play it because I'm like, you won't appreciate, not that you wouldn't appreciate it in the right way.
It may be too much for someone who's like trying to get into video games.
As well as it would come too early, and you'd be like, "Well, all games are cool like in this way,"
Oh, yeah.
And I'm like, "No."
And then you'd never like a game again. Like,
yeah, it's just like
can you fucking serpentine?
playing every game thinking there's gonna be alternate endings and shit. And you're just like, "No, oh." But it'd be like if someone watched Community as their first serial sitcom. And then you're just like, yeah, well, it's riffing on all these ideas and concepts. And when you go and watch like Seinfeld after it, you'd be like, oh well.
I think a lot
saw
of
this in Community.
Yeah, I think a lot of the things that make it great is that it plays on expectations you would have because you've played other video games. Not to say it's a requirement, but like that's what makes it hit so good. It's like it's what I would describe kind of as like you know how sometimes people describe comedians as like a comedian's comedian. Yeah. Like they make really good jokes about like the industry and stuff, and they play with the format a lot, and that's why they're so like other comedians fucking love them, but like a new person may not like immediately jive to them. That's kind of how I feel about Nier, where it's like if you play a ton of video games, Nier is fantastic, and even if you don't, you're gonna get like a really solid experience. You get the 10 out of 10 if you've played a lot of video games. You get like an 8.5 to a 9 if you haven't really played that much.
Yeah, I feel like you have to understand the craft a little bit to understand what's being played at there and like what's being shown to you. Otherwise, you're just like again, as you said, it's like an 8.5 because you'd be like, oh yeah, this is really cool. It's really fun.
The combat's really good. I like the
up.
story. I like the setting and the music. Yeah, like it hits all the marks.
Yeah.
Oh, it's such a good game. I gotta replay that. Never forget that Spencer beat Route A and thought the game was over. And I had to tell him, no, dude, go back and play again. It's different. Trust me, just get through Route B. And then he did, and he was like, what the? And he went on to appreciate it.
That almost happened to me because I finished Route A. I was in grad school and I finished at like 9 p.m. So I was just like, well, I thought because I was like, oh yeah, I probably have like I'll play until like 11 o'clock when I sleep, and then I got to the end there and I was like, wait, this game is over. And then I was like, well, the intro's different, so let me just see like. And then I was like, wait, what is going on? And
it's so good.
That's yeah. Next on my list, I put Witcher 3.
Real quick, that does genuinely surprise me. I did not know that you had that much appreciation for Nier, because I also have that much appreciation for Nier, and like Carlos and I, obviously we're best friends, so we have a lot in common. But our game tastes, while we can appreciate the same games, our favorites usually drastically differ, because we just like different things from games. So when we find one that we both agree on, that should tell you a lot. Like, that should tell you that, oh fuck, wait, this hits two very different tastes, and it's still this good for both of them. Play Nier Automata. Okay, go on.
Yeah. Actually,
And you said Witcher 3. We don't need to.
no.
People know.
If you haven't played it, go play it.
If you haven't played it, you're either not going to, or you already have. That's really it.
The most negotiable game, as shocking to me as it sounds, is Uncharted 4. I remember at one point it was really high on my list. And I replayed Uncharted 2 last year, and I was like, that's fire. And I haven't replayed Uncharted 4, and I was actually thinking about replaying it on the PS5, because they did all those updates, and being like, oh, this probably sounds like really fun high. So I'm like, I'll have to replay it, but I really like it. And then the next on the list is a tie. GTA 5 or Sleeping Dogs?
GTA 5.
Oh no, GTA 4.
I was gonna say, wait a minute.
Put the wrong Roman numeral down.
I know your stance on GTA 5, and I know your stance on 4, so that surprised me a little bit. Like,
Sleeping Dogs.
Sleeping
is like,
Dogs? I can see it.
I love Sleeping Dogs. It's fun. It's pulp action fun. Goodness. It's one of those games that, like, there's an open world. Again, I feel like maybe there didn't really necessarily need to be an open world aspect of it, but I did like that it was in Hong Kong. You just got to punch people in the face all the time. How I express my views in this world. And Sleeping Dogs was the reason why I decided to play the Yakuza series, because I was like, oh, I need something to scratch this itch. So in my mind, I'm like, if it wasn't for Sleeping Dogs, I'd never play Yakuza 3. I never have that fun experience. So in my mind, I'm like, Sleeping Dogs is great. As well as, if you're playing all the Yakuza's Lost Judgment, I think Sleeping Dogs is a great bridge to GTA if you're like, oh, I want something that kind of molds these two things.
So here's what I'll say about Sleeping Dogs. I haven't watched the playthrough, having not played it, so I have like a partial understanding, but not really. I will admit that. I couldn't get into Sleeping Dogs, but I do think that Sleeping Dogs is like the missing link between like Shenmue and Yakuza. Of like, there's a concept here, and it's executing on it. It's doing some parts of it better, but I do think that Yakuza is the final form of the kind of, sorry, I'm trying to focus and think at the same time. I do think that Yakuza is the final form of the like Sleeping Dogs formula. That being said, I do think Square Enix can get their shit together and make a Sleeping Dogs 2. Or who is it, the Embracer Group? I don't know if they own Sleeping Dogs.
Yeah, I forget who owns the rights, because it's been. I know that the original developer, I think, is dead. As well as they then took that sequel and tried to make a game of service shit out of it. Yeah. And I was just like, what the fuck are y'all doing?
What, Ain't nobody of all games, why would you think to do this one? Like, this is not this is not an IP that people are like, fuck yeah. Let's get some.
I was just like, why not tone down the size a little bit rather than like, oh no, we're going all the way. And then another game, have another two games that are a tie, which is Deus Ex: Human Revolution and Dishonored.
Ooh, I can see it. I can see it. For me, that's an easy one, but I understand why you would have a different opinion on that. For me, that's easy. Human Revolution, easy.
I get it,
but I understand why you would say Dishonored as well. Okay,
they're very similar games, and my only beef with Deus Ex is like, granted, I played the Director's Edition, and that where they fixed like most of the issues. Those boss battles, not big, particularly fan.
Nah.
Going loud in that game isn't particularly like great to me. I do love both.
So yeah, just for people who don't know, Dishonored, you can kind of choose whether you want to go loud or you want to go stealth. Obviously, the game wants you to go stealth. That's kind of how it's built around. But you do have the option of being loud and just kind of like shooting wildly in the open, as long as you're like good enough at the combat and stuff like that. Deus Ex is a little different. Deus Ex claims that you can go loud, but Deus Ex's game doesn't agree with it. Like, the best way I can say it is that, like, you are made of paper in that game. So you can't really go loud because even at your best, you can take a couple hits. Now, they changed that in Mankind Divided. They add more abilities to make going loud more viable should you choose. The thermal armor skin is an ability in that one. But I will say, the Deus Ex series, I think they'd make my top 20 for sure. Mankind Divided and Human Revolution. I think I like Mankind Divided more. Because there's more like kind of gameplay to mess around with it. But I don't know. Human Revolution's really good. I think if Human Revolution got a remake or like a remaster that like changed around the controls and stuff, oh man, that'd be easy. Because that's a big thing you forget about with Human Revolution is that, for instance, aiming down sights is R3. So they didn't nail the controls for some reason, even though there was like ample games that had like kind of demonstrated it by then.
No, there was a point in the PS3's life cycle where I remember a number of games thought like this is inappropriate behavior for me to ask you to aim down sights by using R3, and I hope
I think Resistance also tried it. Yeah,
and I was just like, maybe Killzone. There were a couple of games where I'm just like, whoever came up with that, I hope they did not get like promoted.
I hope they got fired.
Yeah, but something I've been thinking about.
Is that your whole list, by the way?
What?
Is that your whole list, by the way?
Yeah, that's just the ones I quickly came up with.
Danger!
Oh fuck!
Oh shit!
Oh man, I thought it would only hit you. Oh, I was only that brave because I thought it was just gonna target you. I didn't know it would target me too.
But there's a rumor that there's gonna remake Metal Gear Solid 3 with.
I did hear that recently.
With like modern controls.
That would be fucking nuts.
It would, but
do you think they'd do it without Kojima?
Oh yeah, they don't need Kojima to do that.
They don't need Kojima to do it. It just depends. If Konami is doing it, it would be the real thing.
I mean, I think they'd probably license it out to someone. But
that's what I mean. Is I think Konami doesn't want to make anything. They want to just profit. So I feel like they might just like let someone else. God, dude, just let Sony buy Konami. Just let Sony buy the IP. Metal Gear is at home on the PlayStation. I feel like they can handle it. Just let them. Just please. I beg of you.
Their stock hasn't been too bad, which is crazy.
Well, they do make money, but they just like the whole big thing is that they just want the rights to the Pachinko stuff. Like Castlevania, Silent Hill, and Metal Gear are like crazy IPs, and Yu-Gi-Oh as well. Like Yu-Gi-Oh makes a shit ton, but it's just one of those things where it's like they can only do that for so long before they like actually like eventually the people who buy that IP kind of like age out, and you need to make more in that IP or it stops working. So we'll see. I mean, in theory, who the fuck knows?
This isn't a complete picture, but what's interesting to look at is since like 2017 or whatnot, yeah, their stock was just higher than it ever was before 2015 and like before they went public. So it could be like maybe they're just like looking to get back into it, or they offloaded all those developers. I have no idea.
I do think that's probably a case of that's probably due to Yu-Gi-Oh. Yeah. Yu-Gi-Oh! Between Duel Links, the mobile game, and Master Duel, has had kind of like a resurgence, and I wouldn't be surprised if that was a big reason why Konami would make more money. Can you?
I do wish, like, if they do a remake of Metal Gear Solid 3, I do hope that they at least keep it so that way you can do, like, Metroid Prime allows you to do the original controls versus, like, modern controls. Just so that way, if I want to feel that high again, I can, knowing that like, oh, it's there.
Sure.
But then again, they already like did remake Metal Gear Solid 3 at one point with Subsistence.
Yeah, but I wouldn't really call that a remake. That's more of like an international edition.
True. But yeah, we need Metal Gear to come back. At the end of the day.
Oh, that didn't work. Oh, it did work.
No, it did not.
No, he got caught by a different one.
Oh. What is he doing? Just chilling out there?
Yeah, he's caught between two of them. And I like haven't been like calling him over here while he can. Dude, this sucks. What do you mean you can't reach my location? What am I even doing here? Oh my god. Please, game. I beg you. Please. Give me a fucking break here. I've never struggled with this part so much. I don't know what the fuck is like the issue. Oh my god, I've used so much food here. I honestly just might reload a save. I've done so much here.
Oh, another breaking news, if I can.
Sure.
New York Times and LA Times are both saying they won't pay for Twitter verification.
Interesting. Not a take I would have expected from New York Times, which has some of the most insane headlines I've ever heard.
I do love following the New York Times pitch bot.
Yes, that's what I was thinking of, which is basically like studies show that vaccines prevent this, or like we researched 81 articles that said vaccines prevent disease, but here are 5 that say they don't. Like, I'm just like stuff like that, where it's like this old style like reporting of like, here's what you might not have thought of, but except it's for like very dangerous people and information. Like,
it is the fucking energy of that drill tweet of like, yeah, driving drunk does murder people, but it does get me to work effectively. Who can say if I should stop doing it? And like, I quoted that one time to Juliana, and she had no idea that it was a fucking drill tweet, and she was like, "What is that nonsense you're saying to me?" And I'm like, "Oh,
I love you having to explain yourself to Juliana.
She gets some of my tweet jokes, but she does hate when I like how online I am, to the point where like she hates that her friends who are on Twitter and stuff like that, like they'll know that I saw something because it did enough numbers. Like, love of my life's in Vegas this weekend, so we had a bunch of people come over to watch the movie Showgirls.
Yeah, as you do before you go to Vegas.
Nick, that movie is the most ridiculous movie I've ever seen in my life, and I would recommend to anyone, if you were like, oh, I want to watch like a hilarious over-the-top movie, like go out of your way to watch Showgirls. It's right now on Paramount Plus.
Subscribe in the link in the script. No. Can you imagine?
Use our
fucking
Wrath of Zalis code.
Can you imagine how fucking seamless that would be if that was true? Like, that would have been so natural. Like, but no.
But like they were talking about, there's a great tweet where a woman, a great theorist of our times, said, and I quote, "Ew, she's fucking the weed man for weed," says the bitch that's texting the text man for text.
I don't know that I get it.
That shit changed the brain chemistry in many minds.
That's
like on it.
That's so online. Of a fucking
I sent that shit to my sister, and she was just like, "I feel targeted and harassed."
Can you repeat it again for me?
Ew, she's fucking the weed man for weed, says the bitch that's texting the text man for texts.
Like, is the whole point just to say like, you're into a guy? How weird is that? Like,
no, the whole thing is just like, you're fucking a dude for attention. She's fucking a dude for weed.
Right.
Don't try to lift yourself up and say you're better than others. It is what it is. At the end of the day, you want one thing. She
I
wants
thought
another
that's what it
thing.
was, but I wasn't sure if I was missing something.
But like, it's such a real definitive way of like, yeah, there are a bunch of people in my life where I was just like, you would shame a woman for doing that behavior, but look at you, all needy and shit. Is it fucked up? Who can say?
Yes, I can. Yes, it's fucked up.
But I do need that Sean t-shirt. That and like, oh, why do we call every deadbeat dad a deadbeat dad? Sometimes the kid's energy is wrong. Like, yeah, that's
Okay, that one is good. I do appreciate shaming kids for being unlikable instead of the parents. So I think it's really fucking funny. And as someone who's had no parents, I can say that. As someone who's technically an orphan, I have the ability to say that. You don't. I don't know how to... Like, they have 1,000 HP. How the fuck am I supposed to...
dodge.
I guess I just run straight through, right? And just avoid the rocks there because it's not worth it. I don't need to get my rocks off.
You got no other choice. Wow.
Just like that thing I said about getting my rocks off.
Yeah.
You did like that? Oh, weird.
No. Imagine if I was into that.
Right.
What would you do then?
I don't know. It would honestly be a little confusing for me, and I wouldn't really know how to react. There's a great way to mess with people who say things because they expect a reaction out of you, which is to do the exact opposite reaction. It will fuck with them every single time, and it's very funny. Like, oh my god, what was the, I used to, our mutual friend, Andrea, did this to me when we were in, I think, high school, where, like, I think once on the bus, I was like, I like looked down at my shirt and I was like, oh, it's cold out. Get it? Because, like, you know, nips, get it? And then, like, the reaction is supposed to be like, oh my god, or something like that. And her reaction was to pull her shirt out and be like, I don't think so. And I was like, none of my calculations had thought of this. So I don't know what the fuck to say to this. Like,
Oh, yeah, I remember that.
I'm like, what? And I short circuited, which is the correct response. Like,
It's wild to me that Andrew's texted me asking about my wedding planning, and I'm like, girl, you engaged too. How's your wedding planning?
that's a weird reaction.
Oh no, because I told her like a while ago that I was unemployed, and she was just like, all right. And then she texted me like just now, like the other day, of like, yeah, so you making any progress on that shit? I'm trying to steal some ideas, and I'm like, excuse me.
I do like that energy. I'm gonna try and see if you... Okay, that's not working. Maybe it's working. Maybe it's Maybelline. Okay.
I feel like you just gonna have to run through it and just say fuck. I feel like at a certain point, with my lack of patience in this game, I just decided at a certain point of like, fuck, we run.
The term for that in the Binding of Isaac community is "fuck it, we ball."
Oh yeah.
So maybe, but also you can just blow them up. So I might just do that.
Oh okay.
The 1,000 HP is a misdirect. They're actually quite weak. There we go. Again, I like the parts when you can do things multiple ways. That's great. It's the parts when it's like, all right, and here's the solution to this puzzle. Figure it out, stupid. That I'm like, well but I'm stupid. What do you mean? I can't figure it out. That's why I'm here.
One of Juliana's friends decided to lie to me and said that he only died once playing this entire game, and we were at a party.
Yeah.
And I
Sure. What did he play for 20 minutes? Like,
I was about to be like, I know you're lying. I know there's no way.
I feel like,
And he was just like,
I feel like
and
that's
he was like, yeah.
I feel like that's a sitcom episode. That's an episode of Seinfeld, of like George being like, "There's no way," like and just taking it really personally, and it's like making it his fucking mission that episode to expose him.
Honestly, I was very tempted, but then I was just like, yeah, I ain't trying to blow up Juliana, because we were at this party and I was not trying to like start an argument. You know me, I'm a peaceful wallaby.
No, yeah, you would never. You've never fought anyone in your life.
Me? I never argue.
No.
Not me. That's what they say about Carlos. That guy hates an argument, hates confrontation.
Carlos? Argument? I think you're talking about someone else. I don't think he would never.
Exactly.
We all know that,
You-
Carlos. Nobody would ever question that.
No one has ever been like, "Oh, Carlos is about to just start some shit right now."
No.
Just because he can.
Can you imagine? Can you imagine
Especially-
you being combative?
Especially when I'm bored. That's when I'm at my
On
most peaceful.
Facebook? No way. Okay, I don't
Saying
like
patently
oh,
absurd ideas. Nah.
I don't like how I can't hit these guys because I'm bad. It's actually hurting my self-esteem. Yeah, how about now? How about now, prick? Oh, you didn't like that? I'm sorry. Yeah. Oh.
Oh shit. That's.
Oh no.
Oh wow, that would have been bad.
Why do I hear Duel of the Fates? Oh my god. There we go. See ya. I don't want your parts. I don't care. A fight at sunset or sunrise. Huh. The fuck was that sound? I wonder if this works.
Sounds like an arrow.
Ooh, that did work. To great effect, might I add. Okay, nope. He would have killed me. For sure. So the fact that there are black moblins don't. The fact that there are black moblins here, which are the strongest, kind of tells me that, like, maybe I'm supposed to do this one later. This isn't supposed to be the second one.
No, I did this one as the second one as well.
I don't think I did it on my first try. I think I did the Rito one has a much better ability. That's the one we should be going for.
Oh yeah, it gives you a boost.
Yeah, that
Right.
that flying boost is huge. So maybe I should go. We should go for that one after. I don't mind the desert one. It's just not like, it's just a combat ability. It's not like crazy good or anything. I always activate it by accident.
Sorry, I forgot. The other cultural reset tweet that I saw, or that that's on my Mount Rushmore of tweets, is she's just having a little sex bro. She'll text you back.
That's also a very good one.
Especially when you see that, when I see that tweet at like 3 a.m. on like a weekend, and it's like, oh yeah, yep, that's why she hasn't hit me back yet.
This is our big chance.
Yeah, your fiance is too busy, Carlos. Sorry, she's too busy.
No, I mean,
Oh, you mean other people?
that
Because I think it's equally
that
ridiculous.
tweet dropped in
Like-
2011.
Oh, right.
That was a tweet that I saw often in undergrad and being like, oh yeah, that's happening.
Oh man. Hey, you know what's crazy? We're both in long-term relationships.
Yeah, it's weird. I was high as shit last night. I was like, yo, isn't it crazy to be in love? And then I was like, I can't text him that shit.
You're gonna text me that?
Yeah.
I think I can count on like one hand the amount of times you've like slipped up and sent me those, and I've been like, all right, keeping this one.
I can't. Juliana gets. I'm not supposed to hit Juliana up when I'm stoned.
Why?
Cause she's like, she gets enough of it in real life that she's like, all right, I know you're high right now.
I mean, I do too to an extent. Like the second I can tell which of your texts are from when you're high.
Oh yeah.
I will say that if I ever get in my feels like that and send it to Amy, she sends that shit right back and hits me even harder, and I'm like, that's probably a good sign. It's probably a good sign. If I'm like, hey, I really love you, and then she's like, oh my god, same. Like, what a coincidence.
I live with this woman. It's not a. The way
Yeah,
I talk
go
about
on.
Juliana,
Yeah, go on.
the way
I want you to consider that for a moment. How do you think the viewers think of Juliana, based on what you've said?
they do know she's my number one hater.
Yes.
But like that's the thing. As crazy as it sounds, I need a lot because I am constantly at a level of ridiculousness, and not to say like, oh, Juliana just has some guy that is a grown man child.
Well, differing schools of thought on that, but no, we're not entertaining this. Okay.
Juliana loves me dearly, and I know this because she's with me all the time as well as
Because she's going
she loves
to therapy about it, because clearly there's something wrong with her.
No. I mean, but
Being a real hater today.
no, but yeah, she loves me dearly, and she does. She treats me. She knows to. I need rules.
Carlos, take a second.
No.
Think about what you're gonna say, because this is how it sounds, and I don't think you hear it, which is why I really need you to hear it. Which is, Juliana loves me. She, I honestly need it to, because
Oh
like,
no, okay. Yeah, because I also
this is what I mean. It's like, I know what you're saying is true, but your delivery of it sounds like a battered person, and you need to understand that.
Okay. Never. Juliana loves me way too much, if anything. She treats me very kind. The thing is, Juliana doesn't like when I do nonsense. Not that she's like a serious person. Juliana is also a nonsensical person. The thing is, we need each other to recognize when the other person is being nonsensical. Like, Juliana's nonsensical is like, she just legitimately won't ever do the dishes. She's not gonna do the dishes. She will wait until I've left and I've come home, and I'm like, someone here has got to do the dishes, so that's me. Or it's like, Juliana is very much her nonsensical things are always comfort, where my nonsensical things are always like a ridiculous act.
Your nonsensical things are nonsense for the love of the game.
Yeah,
You're nonsense for the sake of nonsense. Like,
oh yeah, like, oh, this is a normal thing of doing
you border on whimsy. Like,
True.
which, hey, I need that. It's good. It balances my friendship out. But also,
Juliana also will arts and crafts it up in this bitch. Like, she will have me going out to some random place with her because she's like, oh, when I was walking the dog, I saw this table, so we're going to take that table and we are going to make some shelves out of that shit. And I'm like, what?
it's like,
she's like, yeah, I got this all sorted out.
Did you know I'm not a carpenter? Like, did you? What?
But no, yeah, it's you gotta date someone who balances you out, because you both can't be ridiculous. That's how people get in the wrong state of mind. Like, my sister had a friend who she bought a house with this guy, and then when she's like, oh yeah, I want kids and whatnot, and he was like, actually, I don't want kids. I actually don't even want to be married. I don't even want to be with you. And I'm like, whoa.
These are conversations you have before you get to the house buying stage. That's all. Oh my god.
Oh, I mean, I will say that was a stressful time in my life when I had to ask her for the first time. I was like, do you want to move in together? And
then
again,
knowing Juliana and knowing you, I imagine that she was sort of just like, oh my god, it took you so long to ask.
Well, no, the thing was, I lived on campus, so it was like, I was just my immediate reaction was first like, do you want to
live on campus?
Oh no, I was just like, if I leave campus, do you like want to live together? Because like, your lease is gonna be up on this date. And she's like, yeah, because at that time she had lived there for 10 years, and she's just like that was the first time we had to have a real conversation of like, where is this going? What are we building towards? Because before it was just like, yeah, we're dating, we're having fun, but like, shit. Let's just say, like, when you live in separate places, and no shade to your relationship or not, Nick.
Yeah,
it's
I was gonna say, where's this going? Hmm?
If you were to break up when you live in two separate locations, it's like the adjustment to your own single lifedom is a little easier, right? You don't have to. You go grab your shit from that person's place, and for the most part, like, you don't have to interact with that person unless like you're close, like you have a similar friend group or you live close to each other, you know. Where it was like,
sure.
Now that we live together, it's like if one of us leaves now, it's a complete, like, someone would have to find a place. Someone would have to take care of all these things that are both our names, shit like that, you know? Like, who gets the dog? So horrible conversations like that of like, you gotta, before you move in together, you have to be comfortable with like, well, what is the plan if this doesn't work?
There's a downside to that too. I had roommates who, one of which cheated on the other, but because their lives were so intertwined, they stayed together.
Exactly, that's
I'm
the
like,
other.
I couldn't fucking
danger.
imagine that.
But that's the thing. It's like once you are in together, it's just like to get out of it again, like, or like you kind of have to decide of like, am I going to continue to expose myself and give myself personal trauma of like staying with this person?
Should I still cheat while I live with this person and they pay for all my bills? I don't.
Wild.
Yes. Agreed. 100% agreed. Of like,
Well-
you're the cheater? You, what? Like, shouldn't she be the cheater? Like,
Exactly. Yo, people who cheat. Oh, granted, the person who's cheating is always like, it's kind of dumb of us looking at it of like, oh yeah, isn't it crazy that you would cheat? Of course you would cheat. You clearly cannot deal with responsibility. Like,
it's just one of those things where it's like, I can't. I don't know, man. You gotta be special to cheat. You're a different breed. It couldn't be me. Like
cheating's wild. Cheating's wild to me because I'm always just like, why would you want to do that to your like? Because that's the person you're gonna have to hurt. Like, now you have to go and explain your actions.
So this could be a me thing, but and for potentially exposing part of my life that maybe the viewers didn't know about, I'll go on a limb here and say it feels like cheating. It has a couple different like reasons for why you would cheat, and like one of the bigger ones is like, you know, maybe you're not satisfied at home, which like I'm not gonna say I can understand because I genuinely can't, but like if that's your reasoning, then like I don't know that anything was gonna change it, if that makes sense. Like it's like you're a coward. You didn't break up with the person that you were not having feelings with. That's really what it comes down to. But I'm also like, from that point of view, I'm like, yeah, I love having sex. And you know who's really great to have sex with? My girlfriend. Like, I don't know why you would do this. Like, why would I go elsewhere? Like, just talk to your fucking spouse. Like,
The thing of like, oh, you were ignoring me thing, unless they were in the, like, they were literally across the country. You know, like, it was a long distance relationship. I'll understand in the sense of like, yeah, you missed some physical touch and shit like that. That, you know,
it's wrong.
not great.
It's wrong, but the logic makes more sense than if it's just like, yeah, we live together, but I thought I'd go down the street and bang someone who flirted with me. Like,
instead of bringing up a conversation with you that, hey, I feel like this stuff needs to change in the relationship.
Which not to get too wide. We should cap this particular part of it on this. There's something to be said about, you know, guys not really expressing their feelings, because that's not really what society says, and maybe you keep on the side, and instead of doing it, you just cheat. Sure, you could make that argument. It'd be a bad faith argument, but you could make that argument. Like,
there's some context that could be added that might tilt the scale.
It is ultimately still your responsibility and still your it's still your fault. But like, again, it's not as like unbelievable that you did it, if that makes sense. Like,
it's also like you're hustling backwards, because now you're gonna, like, you did this thing and now your whole life's gonna blow up, and now you're not gonna be happy.
Yeah.
You were already unhappy.
I
now
think
you're gonna be even more unhappy.
I saw a really good thing about it, which is you went to someone else for the like 5 to 10% that your spouse doesn't give you, and now you just lost the 95 that you had. So now how are you dealing with just that 5%? Like,
yeah.
It's gonna fuck up your entire life. Don't cheat. Don't be a dickhead. Talk to your spouse. But also, I love my girlfriend, and I really like doing the sex with her, and so I'm like, I can't even like imagine a realm where it would even be a possibility, because I'm like, I don't have that emotional connection, and I really am attracted to my girlfriend. So I'm like, there's nothing. I do not see it. Like, just talk to people.
My thing is, and again, you know me, I just always, like, me and Juliana always just want to hang out with each other. So I'm always just like, how are you going to date someone you don't like? I understand people who need alone time. That makes sense to me, right?
This is like the 50s shit, where it's like, yeah, I married someone I don't like. I'm like, okay, well, why? Like, who told you had to do this?
I understand you wanting to be at home by yourself, or maybe participate in activities your partner might not have interest in. Like, Juliana has no interest in video games. That's fine. I'm talking about, like, you like to go to the bar, and you not bring your girl with you, and it's not like guys' night. It's like you just decided to go out by yourself.
Also, just a quick thing here. If Carlos or I ever get caught cheating, drag the shit out of us, especially for
Oh,
this
yeah,
conversation.
you
drag
get
us
me
to
outta
hell.
here.
You
You can clip it on Twitter.
never fucking like do not give us any leniency. Fucking drag the shit out of us. Now, yeah, just that. I was gonna say, now don't take things out of context and like make it seem like we did. That would be pretty fucked up. Like,
No, let's not get crazy here, but like, you know.
but yeah, if we're talking this big, we absolutely need to back it up, and I think we do
Yeah.
because we love our partners.
But also, cheating is. It's also funny as like cheating in terms of discussions with relationships. I'm always just like, it kind of does have way too much weight in terms of like, if he was going to cheat, that's some crazy shit. There are other things in a relationship to talk about, particularly of like, and not to be weird Andrew Tate of like delegation of roles and shit, but like, no, there does need to be a conversation of like, what are the roles in the households we are gonna alternate and take care of, and it don't need to be like my woman needs to wash the house and be all 1950s and shit. But I'm like, there need to be a conversation of like, I expect you to do these things for me, and there shouldn't be anything really off the table in terms of what you expect for your partner, unless you're like asking them to do way too much. It should be an even like expectation. Unless it's like, oh, I expect you to make 500K and support my lifestyle. Because
while I
you
do
got
nothing.
someone like, yeah. But if you do know someone who makes 500K and would like to support my lifestyle as well as my fiance's lifestyle, please put them in the comments below.
Yeah, we're open to it. But they need to
I did tell
support. They need to support 4 lifestyles.
I told Juliana that like I would be Rihanna's secret side thing, and then she'd be my secret side thing, and I would take Rihanna's money to support her. So I was like, "Is that free?" And she's like, "Yeah, you can. Rihanna's the one, or Beyonce." But
They make that joke in 30 Rock when Liz gets offered like $10 million to sleep with someone that she like that had like a crush on her in college. It's the Leap Day episode.
Oh, yeah.
And, I think we saw that together. And and her like fiance or like very long time boyfriend is like, yeah, go for it. Like that seems good enough to do it. And then like later in the episode, he's like, never mind, I couldn't sit with it. But like, you know, have the conversation.
$10 million. $10 million. Yeah.
Listen, I think there's definitely some numbers that I could have a conversation with my beautiful girlfriend, and she would be like, "It would be foolish not to take that." And like for either of us,
$10 million and a little bit of lobotomy. You'd be alright.
lobotomy.
Yeah, just get the memory completely out of there. If you got 10 mil, I feel
Oh,
like
I was like, do you mean a different word? Like, what are you talking about? I am kind of lost in what to do at this point. Oh, I think I got it. Hold on. Oh, I remember this part. I didn't like it. I think you have to... Yeah. This is a weird one.
something that also happened on that show, Girls Night.
Yeah.
So usually I have all my photos backed up in the cloud. So
Wow.
when we have guests
fucking
over,
brag about it. I don't know why.
when we have guests over, I usually will have the screensaver slideshow on and playing music, but I forgot I chose all photos because usually I'll just choose the special
Carlos,
highlight vacation
no.
ones.
No.
No, this isn't a negative one. If anything,
Okay.
it's a bit more. if anything, it's a bit more cringy, but hilarious. The slideshow decided for some reason to only show photos of every tweet I've ever screenshot.
No. That's so much worse. I thought it accidentally showed your nudes. That's much worse. That's so much worse.
So we'd be having a conversation, then all of a sudden, it'd be like random fucking tweets of just sometimes it would be an error of oh, I just screenshotted a tweet by accident, and then sometimes it would be are you smart? Spell it. Third grader, SMART. I said spell it. Third grader, and it's him holding his head crying,
Yeah.
and I'm it'd get a lot of people, but also everyone was kind of giving me the vibe of Carlos, what's in your do you take photos of anyone? Is this just your camera roll screenshots of tweets?
I love that.
And I had to then find photos of this is us in Paris and shit.
That's pretty fucking good.
Everyone just thinks like, oh no, Carlos doesn't take a single photo of his life. He's just
Carlos is just a
screenshots.
fucking meme lord. That's all he does. I love that. Never change, Carlos. We got 3 more of these, and I don't know what to do. You should maybe pull up a guide for this one, for the sake of time. Okay. So I think I need to pull this magnet somewhere. Maybe. Okay, that didn't seem to do anything. I don't know. Oh, is this... Do I have to keep it up? Hold on. You know what's really cool about Carlos? His ability to be completely silent when he's looking up something online.
I had to get on my phone because my internet crashed again.
Oh my god. For fuck's sake, Carlos. You better get Fios.
Fios is coming on Tuesday, but also I was
What do
supposed
I
to pick
do
up
with
Juliana
this?
at the airport when they're supposed to come here.
Naturally. So you're going to cancel, and then you're never going to get Fios. Your building's never going to get Fios.
It's like, why must hard things happen to me in my life?
I do think you've earned a lot of it, for what it's worth.
Wow, big hater time, man.
Do you disagree?
You gonna kick an unemployed guy on the
Carlos.
ground? I bet you.
Carlos, do you disagree?
Yeah, I disagree. I disagree wholeheartedly. Life is giving me so many challenges. Let me remind you, I'm a black man with glasses.
Wait. Hold on. Wait a minute.
Yeah.
Some of
right.
that, you know, some of that has merit. Not the whole part of it.
The whole part
What
of
do
it,
you
the
mean?
whole enchilada.
What is the glasses part? What do you mean?
I have a disability. I have a disability.
Oh my god, you're really putting me in a weird spot here. I don't know, like, I don't know that there's adversity because you had glasses.
Gets it? There's adversity, man.
I don't
There's a
think
lot
that's
of challenge. Never forget the woman who I was at a bar in college, and she goes, "Carlos, let me see your glass. Let me see you with your glasses off." And then she goes, I take my glasses off and she goes, "Yeah, you would get laid more often if you didn't wear glasses." And then walked away. And I was like, what the fuck?
What am I supposed to do with this information?
I just like
Alright, now he's gone.
so I just walk around the bar barely barely
All
seeing.
audio is gone. Is it my headphones? My headphones just died? It's me? That's crazy. Oh, you're back. What the fuck happened?
That is
So
weird.
Oh, gone again. Uh-oh,
How long
that's
have
gonna be a
you?
problem.
Oh, 5:56. How long have we been going for?
Oh, it's my... Oh. It's my... Like... speaker that's turning off. That's
weird.
so fucking weird. Why is my
Beanie.
speaker turning off? Alright, I can hear you briefly.
Okay.
We've been going for... Oh my god. You can't hear me
Well,
right now.
let's-
We've been going for over an hour.
No, I
but
can
that's
hear
why I
you.
said bring up the guide. Because it would really speed this along. Okay. I'm a little worried about my speaker now.
I can hear you, Nicholas.
I know, but... So,
Okay, that's one.
but that's, I told you, we've been going for like an hour.
Okay, yeah. Well, let's finish this Divine Beast, and I gotta eat and take this child
So
out.
that's
We
the,
can-
that's the plan, which is why I told you to look up a fucking guide, because I don't
Oh,
know...
I'm sorry. I ain't got internet. Ain't picking on a black man with glasses.
What would you like me to do? Do you want me to stop playing and just go from there? Because that's also
One sec.
not really conducive.
Actually, I want you to figure out how to play the game that you've already beaten.
I just did. So, you know what?
1 second.
Fuck you.
Let me get.
There are 2 terminals remaining.
Okay. Oh, neat. The fire went away.
All right, 1 second. I'm gonna get. Now that internet's back on my computer, I'm going to hop back to the computer.
Okay. Thank you for the update. I don't know what to do with this part. I know there were other torches that I haven't lit. But I don't remember where anymore. There's definitely, like, skeletons still clucking around.
All right, I am back.
Welcome
And
back. Your
I'm
audio is
looking
better.
Up a divine beast.
Okay. Okay, there's some little tiny enemies down there. What do they want with me? How do I... Where did you come from? Where did you go?
Fuck you.
What?
I knew what you were gonna do.
I didn't do anything. What do you mean?
Fuck Cotton Eye Joe.
I mean, I guess you could. That was probably part of his journey. I don't know.
All right.
Oh, I think I see now. Oh, this is... I don't like seeing that against the lava. That's so weird. I think you guys are probably on this side. Yeah, I was right. Okay. How do I destroy you?
Okay, you've done that one. Honestly, I feel like guide writing has gotten a lot worse.
Nobody appreciates the written word anymore.
No, honestly, I've been playing Metroid Fusion. I had to consult a guide a couple times because I got stuck. And I was like, this is not clear at all. And then I went and I found like the official Prima version of the guy.
Yeah, you didn't say
Is
anything
it
right.
Prima?
It's Prima.
I thought it's
Like Premiere.
it's not Premiere.
No, it's said pronounced like Premiere, like Prima.
It's Prego.
Or like a prima donna.
It's Prego.
It's not. No, it's Empreg. It's not that.
It's Ego. And yeah, I was reading. I was like, oh, the writing here is actually like clear. I know exactly what to do now. Where other ones, I'm like I'm reading this IGN walkthrough of it. And I'm like, I have no idea where the fuck you're supposed to go.
I think it depends. Some guide writers can do it, some can't.
Granted, now we also have like video where you can literally just go and scrub and like.
Yeah, my big thing with videos is that it takes so long. Like I feel like I prefer text most of the time, but occasionally I'll get so lost. I'm like, all right, let's look at a video. Let's get to the bottom of this. All right, so I'm missing two still. I'm missing the one on its back hind leg, and I'm missing the one on its like spike in the middle. I kind of just kept playing and didn't realize that we were close to doing Divine Beast. That's kind of on me.
No worries, it's okay.
Thank
It's
you.
a special treat for our viewers.
I'm glad that you gave me permission. I don't think this is where I'm supposed to go. I'm on the wrong side. Okay.
Oh no, why don't you? Yeah.
I'm on the bottom of it. I need to be higher.
Yeah, the blight is on the bottom.
Carlos, can you take me higher?
Oh, I was that high that I started listening to Creed. That's also might have been.
Oh, God, you couldn't waterboard that out of me. What do you mean you were fucking listening to Creed?
No. Okay.
Nope.
No. You want to slander me? I'm gonna tell you the fucking truth right now. So another thing that I like to do when I get stoned is I love to watch documentaries.
You're saying this like it's gonna be a defense of you, but I think it's probably gonna
it is a defense of me.
It's probably gonna be an indictment.
No. Okay. I like another thing I really love to watch are the fucking. Okay.
Me too.
You are gonna slander me a lot here, and I deserve it. But also, like, I want other people to. I want you and other people to try it out, so maybe like y'all will understand. Like, oh no, that shit actually does hit. Watching wrestling promos, Stone, like the ones before the pay-per-view of like, oh, this is a sequence of events that led us to this match, and it's just like people yelling at each other and like music playing in the background. That shit hits, man. Vincent Kennedy McMahon is an evil man, but he knows how to tell them people in the editing montage room, like, work, monkey, edit that shit the right way.
You are definitely someone. You're definitely a person that I associate with for some reason. That's definitely who you are. Where do I get the ball for the puzzle inside? That's the one. That's the last one I have left. I need a ball to open up the doorway.
Your ball
and I don't know where to find it.
Alright.
It's got to be somewhere stupid fucking obvious, and I just haven't noticed.
Let me control F ball.
Or sphere, or orb. Is it
Cannonball.
through here?
Yeah, cannonball attack. Okay. Well,
No, that was a different one.
Light and arrow, but
And I don't know what this does.
what the fuck? Why have? That's the fucking attack. I don't want to
I don't
do
know
the
how to
attack.
open
I want to
this.
know where the fucking sphere is. Is it an orb or a sphere? You got to use the same fucking balls.
You might just want to look up a video guide for this one, because then they might separate the puzzles like by chapter, so you can see which one is which.
Hopefully my
Yeah, look it up on
my
your phone.
internet can withhold. Look on my phone. What am I? A creep?
Yes. Okay, so I have this big long walkway. And I don't know what to do with it. It seems like something goes inside of it, but I don't know. Is Kyrie inside me? Oh. Let's follow it to the end, I guess. Oh, interesting. I think I got.
I think you
something
gotta
there.
light them shits on fire.
I mean, I know I have to light them shits on fire. I couldn't find it earlier.
Okay.
How the fuck am I supposed to get the torch up there? What? That's gonna be very difficult.
You got it, man. There's no one else I believe in more than you.
Thank you. I don't. Why?
I didn't say nothing wrong.
It felt wrong. The vibes were off.
Damn, you just a hater.
I don't. I can't prove what you did was nefarious, but it feels like it.
The only bad thing is
You?
because this isn't coming out until so late. I'm like, oh, I want to ask the audience of like, what wrestling match should I watch tonight, stoned in my apartment? And
You could just ask that in
by
the
the time,
Discord.
oh, this, well, no, it was.
I mean, you could, like...
Oh wait, we're back. We're back.
Yeah, you could just ask that in the Discord. How do I move it this way now? I can't magnesis it.
All right, there we go. We're back.
Okay. I don't know how to move this.
We're gone.
Are we back? You've said it 3 times now. God damn it. You don't understand the struggle of recording with this man. Oh, okay. There we go. It's kind of going the right way. Oh, there we go. That's what I like to see. Here we go. Here we go.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, for the 4th fucking time.
All right. Hey! I'm sorry.
I'm
my
sorry,
internet
Lou.
shit. Wow, y'all really be hating.
Yeah,
Hating should cost money. That's what I believe.
that would be a profitable business. Can you imagine if every time you insulted someone, that they had to that you had to pay them? Like, say you had to give $50 every time you insulted someone.
Last terminal. There should be a new glowing Mustang.
I'd be a broke man.
You would be a broke man. You'd be very broke. Can you imagine explaining that to Juliana? What happened with that? What happened with rent? Well, listen. So this person,
That was on my last goddamn nerve.
this person was a Man U fan, and like, he just had really bad opinions. It's like, and then she'd be like, "Did you win the argument?" And he'd be like, "No."
I haven't got. Now that I'm a private Twitter user again, I do miss like getting random arguments with randos about soccer.
I like how you've done the random argument thing, like your entire tenure of being online. The
This is
entire
fun.
the entire time I've known you, you and your online presence, you have fought with people online, just like continuously.
Yeah. Makes
Yeah, I
me
guess.
sound like,
Yeah.
Sounds like I'm very fucking free.
You enjoy aggravating people. I feel like in a different world you would have been an expert troll.
Oh yeah.
If you didn't actually care about making good opinions, you would just be an excellent troll.
It is fun having cousins and being able to troll them though, and just being like on some nonsensical tip. Like I honestly do feel like my cousins are constantly like he looks like he's on the straight and narrow, but he also
He's a
doesn't
fucking, but he's a fucking gremlin. Like,
yeah.
Watch yourself now.
Like, it was funny in the middle of the funeral when they were all like, oh, like, why are you here? And I'm like, I don't have a job. And they're like, what do you mean you don't have a job?
you look like you have your shit together, and you're like, no, not at all.
Nope, not at all. I am free. Free as a bird. What's it like to be reliant on another person for your income?
Watch out for that sword.
Okay, he does not like ice.
That's shocking.
No, that was the last boss.
I hate you.
I like how you said "oh" because you didn't get it at first, and then you got it, and you're like, "Oh my god, I fucking walked into it." I don't
Yo,
really
maybe
have
I
a
should-
heat resistance or fire resistance. Maybe you should what?
You don't need that shit. No, I was gonna say. Oh, I watched. Oh, we can't talk about it. Never mind.
You can just go ahead. We're pretty deep in the video right now.
Oh, I watched. I finally finished the Suicide Squad.
I'm glad. How'd you like it?
It was good.
Better than the original by a lot. Oh. Okay.
The original, such a different movie.
Yeah, it's not like a coherent movie.
It's just that one had Will Smith in, and now I'm like, what's funny is like now Will Smith can't be in any of them shits.
Well, it's also funny that it went from Will Smith to Idris Elba, and I'm like, that's kind of like a metaphor for Will Smith's career. Like,
Yeah, the funnier aspect of Will Smith is just like he doesn't have to work anymore.
I guess that's
he
true.
He just wants to work, and now he's done something that they might legitimately not let that man work no more. And it's like people are like, oh my god, poor Will Smith. And I'm like, he got millions of dollars. He don't need it. He can just sit at home and wait for his investments to like continue to like get him paid. But that's not what he wants. He wants to be on television. He wants you to see him. And it's just like,
Ah, fuck.
yeah, you can't. There does need to be a period of time where like we can't see you because you slapped the shit out of Chris Rock on national television.
Yeah, we have to go through a mourning period, so to speak.
And also, it's hilarious the fucking fallout
Oh, fuck.
to other people's career because they decide to have an opinion on that shit.
Oh! I didn't know that would work.
Like Zoe Kravitz's entire career just dried up because she decided.
Sorry, continue.
Zoe Kravitz's career has completely dried up all because she decided to have an opinion on that slap, and all the black people just abandoned her in that moment of need for her.
Listen, there's some parts about this conversation that I can't really speak to as a straight white man, so I'm gonna avoid it. But
No, speak to it.
No, definitely not.
That's what we've been needing. We've been needing more white men on in their opinions.
Well, here's my thing. Ultimately, I'm a bigger fan of Chris Rock than Will Smith, and I am a bigger fan of stand-up. And now, I'm not going to go in a whole thing of like defend your jokes kind of deal. It's like I don't think it was a very good joke. I don't think Chris Rock thought it was a good joke. But it's just sort of like that. The idea of like you don't go up and slap the comedian. That's not how jokes work. That being said, most comedians don't target specific members of the audience, so there's both sides. But I think I ultimately side with Chris Rock because I'm like, what are you doing? Like you knew when you came here, what was going to happen here, Will? Like,
Nah, I do. Maybe we do need to like bring a little back, particularly for like really privileged individuals, like a threat of violence.
here's
back
the
into the workplace.
problem with hitting comedians. There are some who could probably deserve it. I think Jim Brewer can get slapped in the face, but the problem is it's not them who are going to be hit. They're going to go up and throw like fucking
Jim Brewer. You just
what?
what Jim Brewer do?
Do you not know?
No, what did he do?
He's like
I don't know.
the #1 conservative comedian right now. His whole shtick,
Oh, I've seen this guy.
his whole shtick now is just like, and you know, lefties go like, it's his whole fucking joke. Like,
Oh shit! More breaking news. This is the breaking news
oh my
video.
God, what is it?
A grand jury in New York has voted to indict Donald Trump.
Ooh.
They're going to arrest that man.
That's a lot. But yeah, the biggest problem is that if you normalize hitting comedians, then it's not the people who deserve it that's going to get hit. You're going to have like, I think her name is Ariel Ellis, the one who had just said that she voted for Biden and got a fucking full tall boy thrown at her on stage, like whipped past her head. Like that's why you can't hit comedians, because you can't pick and choose. You have to not hit any of them. That's how it works. Like. And people are like, "Well, just don't talk shit." I'm like, "What do you mean, don't talk shit? Just don't take so much offense that you have to storm the stage." I don't know, man. That's our Chris Rock Will Smith talk, which is very 2 months out. What is it? How long has it been? Like a year and 2 months.
A year. Yeah.
A year, 2 months, and this video comes out later than that, so it's even later. Like, a very timely take.
Power of protection.
What are some other things we can speak on? Let's talk about Enron.
Yeah. What's Bernie Madoff up to these days?
Oh, I did. There's a Netflix documentary about him.
Isn't there an HBO thing with
Robert De Niro?
With it's me, Robert De Niro. Everyone does the fucking squinch face, like. Hey, guess what though? We've beaten 2 divine beasts.
Do not get my charger, Josie. Yeah, we're halfway there, kinda.
Not really.
We still just
you gotta count the Master Sword, so we're like 2 fifths the way through.
Yeah. We're almost.
I think we could genuinely beat this in like a good timetable. Like,
yeah.
Our plan is still to kind of go hard on Saturday, right?
Yeah, I'm down. Other than I have dinner plans at 6 o'clock.
That's fine. Do you wanna make plans for like? Let's start around like noon and see if we can get like 3 or 4 done.
Yeah, that's fine. City play the 7:30 a.m. Oh well. The only thing is I have to walk Josie like.
Yeah, we can take breaks in between. But... Yeah, that's totally fine.
Okay.
I just mean like the break would be like half an hour, give or take.
Yeah, I got you.
Also, I was going to comment on it earlier. It's first of all, I like how this cutscene doesn't show the other divine beast because it can't, because it's pre-rendered. But I do like that as you're like walking around the world, you do just see those fucking like aimed beams.
Oh
like,
yeah.
It's a really cool design, and it kind of like adds to like the you're making progress. You're doing it.
Looks pretty good from up here.
I think one of my biggest things with this, there's barely any story in this game, which is fine. But I think one of my only complaints with the story is that you have these like successors to kind of the will of the divine beast like trainers, but then they don't use the successors like this dude or like Mipha's younger brother. They are like, no, they're ghost power, the fucking divine beast. I'm like, well, then why did we just deal with their fucking like younger brother? Why do we care?
My thing is always with
Oh, give me that thumbnail. That's a great thumbnail.
With Ghosts in Zelda, I'm like, why is it only the important people get ghosts? What about like the regular guy?
Yeah. What's a good game that does regular people just get ghosts? I think God of War
Tokyo.
God of War Ragnarok did that. I was thinking of one that I played recently. Yeah, God of War Ragnarok. You'll come across like random like people are just like, I died really suddenly and I don't know why, and then you track down why, and you're like, oh, and they're like, all right, peace. It's not like they're not like it's me, Achilles. Like it's like they're just some random people. I think if they're actually supposed to be people, I'm gonna look like an asshole.
Has it been 6 months since that game came out?
So you can finally start playing it.
Honestly, yeah. I was just like, what's funny is like I'm in the group chat as like with 2 of my friends, and they're just like, fuck you, Carlos, how can you not love God of War? It's the perfect game. And I'm like, I just didn't love it that much, you know? I thought it was okay.
I can kind of understand. I'll give you this. I think God of War Ragnarok is better than God of War, the remake.
Yeah, I've heard people say that, and there are parts of it that I'm like interested in, like the things that people talk about. I'm like, you know what? On a first playthrough, those AAA games always kind of hit at least to the point where I'm like I play the entire game.
Let me
And sometimes
let me give you this as like a sort of like quick review for it. Because it came out in this kind of flash point in time, it's available on PS4 and PS5 if you buy either version. So I played the PS5 version, obviously, but like I got the platinum for that one. I do look forward to maybe in like a year, 2 years, 3 years, going on the PS4 version and playing it again and getting the platinum. There are some games I won't do that with. Like I did Nicktoons All-Star Brawl I got for PS5. I won't be playing the PS4 version. So it's not like an automatic I'm gonna do it. But that's probably the praise I can give
oh
it.
yeah, this game it's got a 3-hour trial and it's $70. We need to march on these game developers.
I don't know, man. Blame inflation. If you look, I hate to be this guy, but if you look at the
No.
if you look at the
reasonable.
past, it's not that crazy. Like that's about how much games used to cost if you calculate inflation.
Yeah, I know.
But I
I'm
also
just
don't
gonna
wanna
start
be that
tweeting some hate. I'm just gonna start tweeting hate at the developers.
Just some death threats. Yeah.
Yeah.
NBD.
Just what's the worst that could happen?
Hope you get hit by the FBI. All right, that's gonna be the end of this this video. Carlos and I did a good chunk today. Thank you guys for watching. We will be back. I'm gonna try and do the amiibo stuff off screen. Try and get some of that equipment and maybe some resources, and we'll go from there. Carlos, thank you for joining me, and I will let you go for the day. Goodbye.
All right. Peace.